The Tragedy of Cinema podcast is intended as a family-friendly program that by extension strives to be inclusive to all people regardless of their ethnicity, gender, creed, or any other identifying factors in this incredibly diverse world of ours. With that said, some of the films we discuss may contain serious subject matters or have content considered morally objectionable by today's standards. We do not intend to condone or dismiss these aspects of these films, but our primary focus will be on what we believe the film succeeds at, some fun facts, and our personal enjoyment factors of each film. With that said, we hope you enjoy the show.
All Tom Hanks wanted was a quiet vacation at home.
This is what I need, Carol. I need this.
Welcome to Mayfield Place. A typical street in the Burbs.
Morning, Walter.
Where nothing much ever happened.
Walter's dog just took a dump on Rumsfield's lawn again.
Until the Klopeks moved in.
Klopex?
Klopex.
Klopek. No one goes in, no one comes out.
Neighbors from hell.
It was a nice place to live.
He said he thinks the Klopeks are evil incarnate.
Well, you're much too smart to fall for that, aren't you, honey?
But now,
Carol!
you wouldn't want to visit there.
Ray.
This is Walter.
The Burbs.
I'm going over the fence, and I'm not coming back till I find a dead body.
Ray, do you want him to take your family, kidnap them, tear their livers out, and make some kind of satanic pate? We found Walter!
We got a real problem.
I hit the gas line, I'd run!
God, I love this street.
Tom Hanks.
I think we are overreacting.
No!
The Burbs. It's one hell of a neighborhood.
Hey, honey, I think we should move.
Alright guys, welcome back to the Tragedy of Cinema podcast. I'm your host Jimbo, and today I'm joined by...
The non-murderous Kyle.
well, allegedly. Today is episode 110, where we're talking about The Burbs.
The Burbs.
Which is a play on the suburb,
Yeah.
just known as The Burbs. Mm-hmm. So Kyle, before we get started, of course I have a question for you, and it's probably a question that I'm not going to ask you... What do you think Tom Hanks' favorite movie is? Because that would be an easy way out. So I'm going to ask you this question. After watching this movie, how would you have handled the neighbors?
How do you mean I would handle the neighbors? Like if I was in his situation?
How would you have handled it? Would you have just called the cops right away? Would you have went all detective like these idiots tried to do?
I think the answer is... I would never bother to notice. It's the real answer. Such a homebody. You have my headphones
because
on.
Because Kyle is the people in the house.
I am the people in the house. That's right. Yeah. Like, he never comes out in the daytime. Like, yeah, sounds like me. That's so good. That's so me. The answer is I would never notice him because I'd be too busy thinking, like, why did I move to the Burbs of all places? Why would I want to be here? No, I have no idea how I'd handle it. I probably would just, wait for something really suspicious and then finally call the cops. I have no idea. How do you think you would handle it, Jimbo?
I don't know, man. It's really weird.
Like I've never handled neighborly disputes at all, nor have I ever suspected someone.
I don't even
think
I know my neighbors. Well, I know my two neighbors now's name, but I'm just saying I don't think I've ever been really that close to a neighbor to care. Or they've done anything suspicious to make me warrant that, you know what I mean? But,
like, I live across the street from a house where some shady things have happened, but, I mean, the cops got involved long before I even bothered to care.
Yeah, I don't know. This is a fun movie. This is Kyle's first time watching this movie, so I figured we better introduce him to the Burbs because I think he'd get a kick out of it.
I did. I'll tell you that much right now.
So, Kyle, let's go and take it away.
All right, The Burbs was released on February 17th in 1980. 1989. Also released, I will get to it in a minute, Jimbo.
I don't want you to forget
also,
this week.
released under the name Life in the Burbs as well. So it had an alternate title when it first released in theaters. So, but it's settled on The Burbs as the name we know now for anyone buying a DVD, Blu-ray, or maybe there's a VHS tape somewhere with the Life in the Burbs title. I don't know. But anyways, this was directed by Joe Dante, written by Dana Olson, composed by Jerry Goldsmith, and cinematographer was Robert Stevens. Budget of the film was $18 million in 1989, which would be the equivalent of $43 million today. Opening weekend, it just brought in $11.1 million, which would be the equivalent of about $26.5 million. And then gross for just U.S. and Canada was $36.6 million, which would be worth about $87.5 million today. And then gross worldwide was $49.1 million, or just about $117 million in today's currency. So it made a good profit for its whole movie runtime and long times, and it came away all right. It didn't doom Tom Hanks' career as we know today. Let's see here. Moving forward, we have a generalized plot summary here. Tom Hanks plays a man taking a week-long vacation at home, only to begin being suspicious of his new neighbors, along with his other neighbors trying to investigate whether or not their one neighbor is going to...
if you were one of the neighbors, you'd have to be, what was it, Art? That would be you. He's always eating. Yeah. He just walks into the breakfast table, has a plate,
so
then he
good.
just goes to the refrigerator and takes the leftovers.
Takes all the food.
And then when they break it into the house, they're like, hey, well, let's start in the kitchen. Maybe he's got a beer in the fridge. He's just always thinking about food.
Because I sent you the picture. It was like, this dude, he has French toast, he has baby back ribs, he just took Tom's eggs. Like, this man is living the dream. And there was just a whole pineapple on the table he took out of the fridge, too.
Right.
That man was going to eat a treasure trove of food and just sleep the rest of the day, presumably, after you get all that food. I'm just like, this man is amazing. It's like a real life Simpsons character. It's great. I enjoy this.
Kyle in real life.
He's got Kyle in real life. Like, God, if I could eat that one day and just sleep the rest of the day, like, yeah, this was an indulgent day. Yeah, but quite a movie. Basically, yeah, but him and his neighbors begin investigating whether or not their one neighbor they're suspicious of is up to immoral deeds. What's he doing in the basement of all the electricity and stuff like that too. Okay, more trivia. Not trivia. That's Jimbo's role. We have technical details here. This is a color film. Runtime of 102 minutes. And an aspect ratio of 1.85 by 1. Then we're going to move on here to the, let's see here. I've done technical details, plot summary, and synopsis, done that stuff. Okay, awards. It was only nominated for one award in 1990, where it was nominated for the Best Young Actor starring in a motion picture to Corey Danziger, and that was for the Young Artist Awards in 1990. As I just said before, 1990. Moving on to the cast here, I'll just start with Corey Danziger real quick. He was actually playing, I believe it was Nick Peterson, who was Ray Peterson's son, played by Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks, of course, plays Robbie Peterson. Tom Hanks needs no introduction. He's been in such films as Forrest Gump in 1994, Saving Private Ryan in 1998, Castaway in 2000, and Big in 1988, and many, many more to come, and from past and everything. Tom Hanks, if you've seen a great movie, it was like a 1 in 10
chance.
That
thing you do?
Yeah.
Oh, it was good.
Catch Me If You Can.
Elvis movie was
the new Elvis movie where he plays a bad guy for like the first time in like 20 years. Yeah, Tom Hanks, The Road to Perdition. Oh my, everything he did is great. Yeah, Tom Hanks it's just a masterclass in acting. Honestly, it's kind of unfair to the rest of the world. Every other actor is like, I wish I could be Tom Hanks. Next up, we have Carrie Fisher playing Carol Peterson. Carrie Fisher, of course, also legendary actress in her own right, in the Star Wars films from 1977 to 2017 or 2019, but even count the last one. The Blues Brothers in 1980, and When Harry Met Sally in 1989. Carrie Fisher, of course, legendary actress in her own right as well. Many other films under her belt, as well as a script out for 20 years and all that kind of stuff. This film is kind of like a subtly all-star cast in many ways. Mm-hmm. Next up, we have Bruce Dern playing Mark Rumsfeld. Bruce Dern can be probably most easily recognized in movies like the Hateful Eight in 2015. I think he was also in Django Unchained back in the early 2000s, and the Peanut Butter Falcon in 2019.
Oh, it was a great movie.
Yeah, and he was the main antagonist in Down Periscope in 1996. Remember with Kelsey Grammer taking over a submarine. So Bruce Dern, also great actor himself. Then we got Corey Feldman, another great actor as well, playing Ricky Butler. Corey Feldman was also in movies such as Stand By Me in 1986, The Lost Boys in 1987, and The Goonies in 1985. So awesome actor there. Then we got Rick Ducommun playing Art Weingarter. Rick Ducommun was also in movies in The Groundhog Day in 1993, Blank Check in 1994, and Encino Man in 1992. Then we have Wendy Shaw playing Bonnie Rumsfeld. She was in movies such as Inner Space in 1987, Batteries Not Included, also in 1987, and she plays Francine Smith in The American Dad Show from 2005 to ongoing to 2022. Then we have Harry Gensman playing Dr. Warner Klepek. He was in such films such as Nashville in 1975. He was also in Inner Space in 1987, and he was also in The Blues Brothers in 1980. And recently covered in the podcast, he was on The Long Goodbye. Can't remember the year of that offhand. Yep. Then we have Theodore Gottlieb playing Ruben Klopek. He was in the movies such as The Last Unicorn in 1982, Nocturna in 1979, and Massage Parlor Murders in 1973. It's a great title. Just that's all you need to know. Massage Parlor Murders. You know exactly what movie you're walking into there. Next up, we have Courtney Gaines playing Courtney Gaines playing Hans Klopek. They were in movies such as Back to the Future in 1985, Children of the Corn in 1984, and Can't Buy Me Love in 1987. Then ongoing here, we have Gail Gordon playing Walter Sesnick. They were in such TV shows as Our Miss Brooks in 1952 to 1956, Here's Lucy in 1968 and 1974, and The Lucy Show in 1963 and 1968. He was also
probably most famous for
the Dennis the Menace role, which I was just bringing up too.
Mr. Wilson.
Mr. Wilson in Dennis the Menace Show. And the I forgot to write down the years. Oh, it's okay. But Dennis the Menace Show. You look it up. And then we have Dick Miller playing Garbage Man number 1. He was in The Terminator in 1984 as the pawn shop guy. He was also in Gremlins in 1984, the same year, playing the neighbor. The neighbor, yeah, the neighbor with the tractor all the time. And The Howling in 1981. So Dick Miller, though, also a legendary actor, and loves to get such a small role in this film, but it's Dick Miller. And then last, certainly not least, we have Garbage Man number 2 being played by Robert Picardo. Robert Picardo, perhaps easily best known as the Doctor in the Star Trek Voyager show between 1995 and 2001. Loved it. He was also in Inner Space in 1987, and he was on the show China Beach in 1988 and 1991.
Is Inner Space the one where they get injected into Martin Short's body?
I believe so, but I'm not certain.
It's been a long time. Sure. That's a funny one, too.
Yeah. I remember Guillermo del Toro wanted to do a remake of that film, the one where they go into the body. I know he wanted to do that recently.
We don't want no remakes, Kyle. We want new stuff.
But I want del Toro movies always, even if they're remakes. He's gonna make that stop motion. What's the name of the puppet boy, wooden boy? Pinocchio. Yeah. He's going to make that stop-motion Pinocchio movie, and it looks great. I'm excited for it.
There's one that's been on sale on Vudu, a Pinocchio. It's a foreign film. It looks fantastic. Mm-hmm. I want to watch it. So
yeah. But anyways, that is the cast.
Do we have filming locations?
Filming locations. Let me look it up for you here, Jimbo. I got it right here for you. I believe it was just filmed in Universal Studios stage sets and the Colonial Street backlot of Universal Studios. So this was a backlot California.
Right. The interesting about this movie is I think they said not since Lifeboat, I want to say, that it all takes place on the same set. Like they don't have to go anywhere.
Yeah.
There was talk of them when they do this movie where they have to follow them and go other places offset, but they thought that it would take away from the integrity of the movie, so they decided just to keep it all right there about the nosy neighbors,
Yeah. It plus has almost like a the cabin fever mindset, but in the burbs, and I kind of like that idea. So keeping it only in the one location really does help with that kind of feeling like everyone's trapped in this one place, obsessing over one thing, and they don't see the world outside around them. Yeah, so that's a really cool fact going on there. Yeah, that's just that's filming locations and the facts.
When Ray and Art break into Walter's house, a picture of Walter and Lucille Ball is on the table. Ball and Gordon co-starred in the 1948 radio show My Favorite Husband and television shows The Lucy Show, Here's Lucy, and Life with Lucy. The Klopeks named their Great Dane Landru probably after Henry Landru, a notorious French serial killer. Which, if you're up on your serial killers, that was probably a clue. Too bad they didn't put that together in the movie. That would have been a funny thing too.
He knows all the murders personally.
Right. Early in the movie, when Corey Danziger is eating breakfast, a box of Gremlins cereal can be seen on the kitchen counter in the background. Yes, Kyle, it was a real cereal.
The Gremlins cereal?
Yes. And there's also a Mr. T cereal.
Was there ever, they ever tried doing a cartoon of that show? I feel like they should have done a Gremlins cartoon someday.
It's coming out.
Oh, yeah, they are. That's right. They are making
whatever it is. It's like a CGI thing, isn't it?
We had this talk before. Right. Yeah. That don't also.
But Corey Feldman was also in Gremlins, so... Mm-hmm. In the Klopek basement, there is a sled with the name Rosebud, which is a reference to what movie, Kyle?
Citizen Kane.
Which we've covered on the podcast, which, you watch that movie, you have more questions than you do answers when you watch that movie, you know what I mean?
There was no one there to hear Rosebud, for instance.
Right. Prop master Mark Jameson was charged with making fake dog poo because the actors complained that they didn't want to step in the real thing. Whatever. You're getting paid money, do it. The mixture included...
What do you do? Just make some brownies and you clump them together?
The mixture included canned dog food and bean dip. It was loaded into caulking tubes and squeezed out where needed.
Oh, my God.
I think I'd rather just step in the real thing. You know what I mean?
At that point, yeah, it's not much of an improvement. I would think you just put some brownies and dish them up together and just throw it on the ground. Done. You're going to throw... You're going on like a standard definition television.
Did you notice at the beginning when the dog does that and... I think it's Bruce Stern's character comes out and he steps in it.
Yeah.
Did you watch when he was walking across the street? He never let his heel touch where he stepped it. He was always hobbling with one leg in the air.
So good. It's so good.
Yeah. At the very beginning of this movie, when the camera starts to pan down, this is one thing that Kyle hit me up right away. He's like, "This is amazing," because it goes from the Universal logo and it Google Earth all the way down
to the world,
right?
And then it comes down in this amazingly detailed miniature, which I was astounded by, and I was complaining to Jimbo because I'm like, today it'd be cheaper and easier, and it would be the right decision to do just to have a drone come down vertically and then swoop around the neighborhood and be the whole thing and we just film it that way. But that miniature was so good and looked so cool and amazing just to see how well someone made it that I almost got upset by that fact.
Yeah. But there's a street sign when it comes down that says Mayfield Place. Mayfield was the town where the Cleavers lived in Leave It to Beaver. This movie was filmed on the same lot. And also, there's been many other TV and film shows that were shot on this backlot as the following: Desperate Housewives, The Munsters. Mm-hmm. Yep. So there's Leave It to Beaver, of course.
I would say this film, even though, it feels like a TV show blown up, like an old school kind of TV show blown up, like the 60s or something like that. It's oh, yeah. So, really appreciate it.
There is one family at the end of the street who are never seen until the end, and the occupants of the house between Walter and Rumsfeld. Their last name is Fennell, a reference to producer Michael Fennell, which is seen on the side of their Chevrolet Astro van as Fennell Plumbing. Screenwriter Dana Olson cameoed as a cop in the movie. Also, she was inspired by this movie by her own neighborhood, where there was a family where they were hardly ever seen and they didn't take care of their lawn. Mm-hmm. The trailer features music from Neil Simon's comedy Murder by Death. Have you seen Murder by Death?
Murder by Death, yes, I have.
Starring Alec Guinness. Yeah,
yes.
It's a good movie.
Excellent movie.
It's okay. It's no Clue.
But nothing really is.
Right. Yes, once again, we have a Michael Jackson reference. Michael Jackson's famed chimpanzee, Bubbles, was a frequent guest on the set. He was brought to set and taken care of by the animal wrangler that brought and handled the dogs on the set.
Oh, that's really cool.
Too bad Bubbles couldn't get a cameo. Huh?
Yeah, I'm sure from our last podcast, I'm sure someone tried to pin okay, what if The Burbs was a musical starring Michael Jackson? Living in the Burbs.
Oh boy. Ray shows Carol the book on satanic rituals, the theory being the Klopeks have taken Walter for human sacrifice. Carol says to Ray, "I wouldn't have missed this for the world. A week in Jonestown," which is obviously a ghoulish reference to the Reverend Jim Jones and his religious cult, the People's Temple.
Oh gosh.
Reverend Jones moved his followers to South America. Another thing that points you to the thing that you think they're Satanist is when the Klopek's house address is 669. When Ray and Art use the heavy door knocker on the door, the 9 slides down, changing the Klopek's house number 2. You guessed it. 666, which is considered the mark of the beast in biblical terms. Walter's toy poodle, Queenie, the white poodle that goes take a crap on the lawn, was played by the same dog that played Precious in, yes, The Silence of the Lambs.
Hello, Curries.
The filming location of the Burbs was also set for another Tom Hanks film, Dragnet, for the character Connie Swell's house.
I haven't watched Dragnet in forever because I need to check that out again.
I don't know if I ever watched that. I watched the TV show, but I don't think...
I'm not saying it's good, but I'm saying it's worth it.
There's a shadow of a noose on the wall over Uncle Reuben's right shoulder when the neighbors first visit the Klopek's house. I noticed that, so that was pretty foreshadowing.
Who doesn't have a noose in their house, though? It's not unusual.
The music that plays when Lieutenant Mark Rumsfeld is introduced and throughout the movie is a variation of the main theme from Patton, which was also composed by Jerry Goldsmith.
Cool.
Jerry Goldsmith's been in a lot of films, too. Not quite as good as John Williams, but I'm sure he's got a lot under his belt, too.
I feel like John Williams has cast a shadow on Jerry Goldsmith's
on everybody.
on everyone, but also specifically like he's kind of unsung. Of he's done a lot of great work in the industry for his entire career.
I think we'll do a real talk of just the music industry and movies. Breaking down John Williams, Jerry Goldsmith, different composers and what movies are already credited.
They're all and it's it's astounding how many movies they've done that made incredible soundtracks too, so memorable. I was like, oh wow,
right.
It's amazing to think they all came from the same person to some degree.
Right.
Yeah.
Although the painting at the beginning of the film depicts it taking place in Des Moines, Iowa, when it comes down, it's actually pretty much filmed in the Chicago area. Which is why didn't they just drop it in there? You know what I mean?
Yeah, in there. But,
because there's Illinois license plates on the garbage truck and etc. So you can easily see it's supposed to be in Chicago.
Yeah.
Or Illinois, yeah. In the scene at the Klopek's house, Bruce Dern is fascinated by one of Dr. Koplik's paintings, turning it upside down and then back again. That painting appeared in the opening sequence of an early episode of Rod Serling's Night Gallery. Jerry Goldsmith's score being played during the fight scene in the ambulance car was reused in Gremlins 2: The New Batch when the Bat Gremlin escapes the lab and flies around New York City. I love Gremlins 2.
Yeah, Gremlins 2. It's a parody of the first movie in a way that I love so much.
Right.
It's an anti-sequel movie. I think that's what it is.
Tom Hanks improvised the scene, which is probably one of my favorite scenes of this movie, where he picks up the gurney and he just throws himself into the ambulance, remember? Face down. And when he walks out of the house, dude, and he's got his eye almost popped out of socket, and he just looks like he's having a bad day.
Like he just seen the war, man.
Yeah. Vic the Garbage Man, as Kyle stated, was also in the Gremlins. So not only did Dick Miller, and then you had Corey Feldman, and you also had Joe Dante. Those three were the crossover from Gremlins. This film was shot in sequence and was filmed during the writer's strike of 1988. The film was rushed into production to avoid a Writers Guild of America strike. Principal photography began the same day the strike went into effect, May 19, 1988. Although Dana Olson, the writer, appeared in the film, he was prohibited from contributing anything to the script while on set. For this reason, Joe Dante encouraged the actors to improvise many scenes.
Oh, wow.
One example was the moment when Rumsfeld rips the Klopek's wallpaper, an ideal from Bruce Dern. Rick Ducommun ad-libbed many of his lines, including the Satan is good, Satan is our pal dialogue. And Tom Hanks and Carrie Fisher came up with the idea of playing along with the Jeopardy at home. So I guess they weren't allowed to change anything to the script, but they could ad-lib, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Without being told what to do because of the strike.
Yeah, because you couldn't have any input at all. He was on the film. That's kind of interesting, little politics around there.
Right. According to Joe Dante, Tom Hanks was hesitant to do the movie because it was the first time he was playing a dad. Hanks was concerned that this would prevent him from returning to the types of roles on which he had built his career up to that point, but Dante said Hanks was willing to go along with it. Which, Tom, I think you made the right choice because your career took off after this, unbelievable.
Yeah. And I think regardless of this film, his career would have been great. It's kind of nonsensical how much Tom Hanks has been in so many amazing
Bosom
movies.
Buddies, man. That TV show where they dressed him and I can't remember his name, dressed up like girls to be in that dorm. Mm-hmm. It's a good TV show.
Yeah, it's a good TV show, and just so many things were just really, you had this. His career doesn't make sense from the outside looking in. He had all these amazing roles back to back. Yeah.
When they break into Walter's house after going through the garbage, Art is seen wearing 2 wristwatches. By the way, that painting that the Klopek said, remember when Bruce is turning it upside down and all that in different ways, it's actually a depiction of surgery from the point of the view of the patient. I thought I seen an IV there, you know what I mean, when I was watching it.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, that's a dark thing. Yeah. What very weird art to keep at home.
Oddly enough,
weird art to keep anywhere.
Oddly enough, when Art falls off the telephone pole and onto the shed, the sound effect that plays is that of a bowling ball knocking a strike. Steer, right?
It's weird that it just made sense to me when I saw it, though. I didn't even think about it.
Tom Hanks and Rick Ducommun really didn't get along during filming, according to Joe Dante, but Hanks was a professional and kept it loose. Corey Feldman was called in to meet with Joe Dante for the part of Ricky Butler at the Universal lot in his office. He had long black hair and wasn't exactly dressed for a meeting, which was due to the fact that he just came back from North Carolina after having wrapped filming on Dream a Little Dream. When he stepped into Dante's office, where Dante and his producer Michael Fennell, as well as casting contingent, were all very quiet and stated, he said, "I'm looking for Joe Dante." Feldman apologized to Dante for his appearance, and Dante immediately told him, "That's it. That is what I had in mind for the character," and Feldman was elated to hear it.
That's great. Weird. This movie feels like a giant, like just a gang of friends having weird fun together.
Yeah.
Like it's so weird, man.
The house where Ricky Butler lives, which is the same as where The Munsters was filmed, and the house where Tom Hanks and Carrie Fisher lived was also used for Leave It to Beaver. Most of the houses on the block where the film takes place were on featured TV shows, of course, Desperate Housewives being the latest. Carrie Fisher actually wore a wig that was pretty similar to her own hairdo, so in between takes she would take it off, and the cast couldn't tell the difference.
But I'm sure they still insisted every time she put the wig back on, too.
Or did she put the wig on, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I have no idea.
During the scene where Hans brings the garbage bags inside the cans, he kept banging them until he got angry and went with it, which ended up in the final cut. Just get in there. Henry Gibson was not the first choice for Dr. Klopek due to his charming personality and diminutive stature. Director Joe Dante had worked with him on Inner Space and loved his work, and he had remembered his menacing portrayal of the doctor in Robert Altman's A Long Goodbye, which convinced him that he was the right choice for the role, stating that he had something evil in him.
Oh, yeah. He has the capacity just to nail it. And we're like, specifically in Long Goodbye, we mentioned, he's a tiny man, and he goes up like that 6-foot rider and just basically slaps him in the face.
Yeah.
Like, he can do that. And, because he thought he could, he can. It's just, there's no limits on him.
Corey Feldman had been going through some personal turmoil during filming and eventually stated that he'd crashed and burned. He had struggled to hang on to what was driving him as an actor. Director Joe Dante and both Wendy Schlaw and Carrie Fisher acted as counselors during the filming to help him from getting into trouble.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a good story of, group support.
Right.
Carrie Fisher's so nice.
Right. And we all know, I've read her book, The Princess Diaries. She had her own addiction struggles, so it's good to have somebody that's been through it before to probably help him along.
Supportive, helpful person.
Right.
Carrie Fisher, just a queen. A princess.
Wendy Shaw, who does the voice of Francine Smith on American Dad, had personally stated that she got the job on the show because the show's creator, Seth MacFarlane, is a huge fan of this film. Everyone in the cast and crew had a good time working on the film, so much that Tom Hanks personally brought everyone sunglasses and left a personal thank you note to everyone in the cast and the crew. Except for... This is so mean. Tom Cruise. Wow, that'd be a really different movie.
That would be.
Tom Hanks was very confused about Wendy Shaw's performance in the film, according to her. She also said that the note he wrote her when he gave her the gift of sunglasses, he wrote, "I still don't get what you were doing. It's great. It was great working with you."
That is the most just sincere. Oh God.
Hey, I don't know what you're doing, but hey, it was fun working with you.
You're such a nice person. I don't understand you at all.
Here's some sunglasses for the shade I'm about to throw on you.
So good.
Production designer James H. Spencer and his crew had worked 7-day work weeks to get the houses to look like they did in the film. The Klopek's house was the most time-consuming due to its dilapidated state. This film received the worst reviews of any film released in 1989, according to many who worked on the film, which includes the director, editor, and co-stars, but was a box office success and now is deemed a cult classic. Due to the writer's strike, director Joe Dante could not have actor or writer Dana Olsen to consult or do any rewrites on the screenplay on a daily basis. Pretty much most of this movie was improvised and ad-libbed. Dante did eventually find a way for Olsen to be on set and hired him as an actor so that he would consult him indirectly without violating the Writers Guild's rules. So there's that little sneaky.
You know, I'm not against going.
Hey, you want to go out to get some dinner?
Yeah. I am not for going around a union, but that is clever, and it did end up making a pretty good movie. So,
well, there was a writer's strike on the Universal lot. The daily tour of the Universal backlot was still taking place throughout the filming of this movie, and Fletch lives not far away. Every time the tour was about to pass through the set, filming was stopped so that the tour could pass quickly and continue filming soon thereafter. This happened pretty frequently.
Mm-hmm. That's great. I love it. Everything about this movie just reeks in hilarity.
I know.
Like, the making of this movie is probably just as funny as the movie itself, if it existed.
According to many of the cast and crew, they felt that the Universal logo that opens the film was the coolest thing about this film since it was unique and different. Which Kyle obviously thought so right away.
I completely echoed that without even knowing it. Yeah. Like, the beginning was just like, yeah, this is awesome.
During filming on the set, there was a voice in the distance that was yelling, "Help!" This was because the set was close to Jaws ride at Universal Studios, and this voice was played loudly on the PA system in the distance. According to director Joe Dante, you could literally hear it during some scenes in the movie, which he said had a little more looseness to the film.
Wow.
The television station interviewing Art is WDHB. It's also the television station used in Gremlins. So it's safe to say that the Burbs and Gremlins are in the same universe.
A lot of this was very intentional, apparently. Yeah.
During the scene where Art, Rumsfeld, and Ray tear through the garbage in the street as it's being picked up, one of the garbage men, which is Robert Picardo, argues with the other one, Dick Miller, over when garbage becomes public domain, citing the city curb clause. However, as the garbage was already in the truck, it is legally the city's property.
I love that. I love it. It's like Dick Miller, it's like I don't care, just get him out of here. Right. And Robert Cole's like, no, this is the law. It's like they're
comedy,
both arguing the wrong points, and I love it. It's so good.
In one scene, Ray is watching Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Tom Hanks would eventually play Fred Rogers in A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. Yep. And I think they're related.
That was such a really a crazy dark scene for that whole movie too, where they sit down and you watch like the girl being sacrificed to Satan.
Oh yeah, he has a daydream or whatever.
And they censored the press in the scene, and then they have another scene where like it's the Texas Chainsaw Massacre scene where he breaks into the room, and then finally he has that terrible nightmare, which I love the prop work in that thing where the chainsaw goes through the wall, and so it scares Tom Hanks, and then he just wakes up to "It's a Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood." So crazy.
Both Carrie Fisher and Wendy Schlaw supplied voice work in Seth MacFarlane projects. Carrie was the voice of Angela, Peter's former boss of Family Guy, and of course, as we stated, Wendy is Francine Stan's wife in American Dad. Let's see here. Oh, here you go. In the scene right before Ray's nightmare sequence, he channel surfs through 3 horror movies. The movies in order are Race with the Devil, The Exorcist, and The Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. Yeah. Nikki Cat, who played Steve Kuntz in the film, which was the guy with the mullet who had on the Skull Skates t-shirt, had a pet spider monkey. Corey Feldman learned this and told him, "Oh my God, I love monkeys. I would love to have my own monkey. I want a monkey." And Cat replied, "Dude, I'm going to be honest with you. They're a real pain." To prove his point, Cat brought his monkey to the set and it stayed in Feldman's trailer during filming. Feldman would return to his trailer to find that the monkey had spread feces around the interior. Joe Dante eventually banned the monkey from the set. But yeah, Bubbles could come.
Yeah. Well,
Bubbles wore a diaper.
Bubbles had a trainee around of all times too, a wrangler.
No, but it was the one that with the animals in this, right?
Michael Jackson's Bubbles, yeah. Michael Jackson's pet monkey came with the Wrangler. You mentioned that in the notes.
No, I said that Bubbles was watched after the Wrangler for this film.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all right.
A great example of foreshadowing. After they find the femur, Carol says, "Before anyone falls off a roof or sets themselves on fire." Later in the movie, Rumsfeld falls off a roof and Ray sets himself on fire. Tom Hanks is reading a book about demons written by Julie Carswell. This is the name of a character who conjures a demon in the 1957 film Night of the Demon, played by Neil McGannis. A major subplot that was not explained in the film and only featured in the film's work prints version is the reason why Ray Peterson is on vacation. After the events and the arrest of the Klopeks, Carol walks with Ray where he has a confession. She immediately interrupts him, stating that he'd been fired from his job. To his surprise, that she had known all this time and didn't say anything. However, some elements of this are still evident in the final cut of the film, in which Carol states that he's stressed and he would go back to work in worse shape than he was already, staying up late to spy on the Klopeks with Rumsfeld and Art, and in particular the third and final ending where he says, He's going on vacation to Corey Feldman for another week, which he seems odd since he was already on vacation to begin with. So
okay.
that kind of makes sense now.
That does make more sense. Because it's unusual to take a vacation for home. That's like the idea. Like for me, taking a vacation and staying home sounds fine. But for a lot of people, like you just went on vacation and you stayed home the entire week.
That's called a staycation, Kyle.
That is a stay. I know
for
it's
poor
called
people
a
like
stay.
me.
Yes, it's same thing with me. But still, you think modern suburbia lifestyle. Like, oh, you went on vacation. You went to Hawaii for a week. But like for me, it's like no, I stayed home and I didn't work. That was my vacation.
Right.
I didn't feel physically exhausted when I came home. It was great.
The film was originally supposed to open and end with the theme from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. That would have been awesome if they played that as a zoom
amazing,
down.
and the way that would have came full circle in his career, crazy.
But that was before Jerry Goldsmith came on board and wrote his completely original score for the film.
Which is also good.
You do hear it when Tom Hanks is watching the TV show on his TV after his nightmare from the night before while drinking orange juice. This is still intact in Joe Dante's work print version of the film, which is on the newly remastered Shout Factory Blu-ray, Kyle.
Which is what I watched for this podcast.
Attaboy.
Yeah.
The line that Corey Feldman says at the end of the film was not in the original script. The director Joe Dante came up with the line, "God, I love this street," during the reshoots after the writer's strike had ended, and the final 20 minutes of the film had to be completely reshot and virtually eliminated Feldman's character. Dante broke the news to him, and he told him to say the line and that it would work out. Feldman admits now that Dante was right, as it is the line that his fans and fans of the film mention to him when they see him when Ray and Art break into Walter's house. A picture of Walter Gil Gordon. I think this is the one I've already said. Yeah, that was added onto here. So
double notes.
This
Surprise,
thing, man, my
guys.
printer is from the Burbs. I don't know.
Exactly.
This film was originally going to be intended to be a spoof of the movie Rear Window. And there's one scene that depicts the homage during the rainstorm where Tom Hanks is looking at the Klopex digging 3 holes in their backyard.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. All right. Yeah, I was thinking about like Disturbia and what was... Oh, yeah, it was Rear Window. That was too, yeah.
When Ray leaves the basement after the explosion, you can see a rope pulled by a crew member to cause the awning to collapse. So, Kyle, since this was your first viewing of The Burbs, what's your thoughts, feelings?
Yeah, it's like I watched the film and I actually really liked it. I thought it was really good. After doing this podcast, I feel even more just like I love how jovial this whole film and production was for the most part. Like it sounds like it was a crazy film to make and enjoy making, and I love all the fun facts that went on to like this film's legacy. And obviously, being one of Tom Hanks' earlier roles kind of makes it exciting too. So the more I think about the film, the more I really like it. Almost verge on love it. Where I'm probably gonna watch this a couple more times in my life at least, and really just kind of get a nice little kick out of it. It's a good like lay back and just let the madness ensue and just enjoy how ridiculous it is, and I really do appreciate that a lot. So overall, I'm saying this is a very good film, well worth watching, especially if you're a Tom Hanks fan or just a movie fan in general.
Oh yeah, it's a great movie. Yeah. I like how when a director directs a movie and they add stuff from another movie like Gremlins, where they have the same news people, and
yeah.
I just think it's pretty well done. Carrie Fisher, probably most notably known for Princess Leia. Man, she did a really good job in this film too. There's like Dick Miller, man. I know I had seen him somewhere, and I was like, man, this drives me crazy. I know I've seen him recently, and I couldn't remember what he was in. But he's been in a lot of stuff. A lot of these people are characters from television shows, movies. You've seen them.
It's the uncanny character thing,
right?
Like, you've seen like a dozen films that you don't remember them being in.
I like this movie because, especially the ending of this movie, when the doctor hops in the ambulance and the kids driving the ambulance or whatever, and they're fighting on the gurney, and then they crash, and then the gurney flies out the back, and he's trying to stab him with the syringe and all that, and then...
Oh, it's like his wife finally comes back. He's like, your wife's back. Also, your house is on fire.
Yeah, that's Art's, yeah.
It's so good.
But, the only reason they got caught, because they thought that the doctor was a respectable doctor, is that gurney, when it hits the car, it pops open the trunk or whatever, and in the trunk you find, like, the dead... Well, they were supposed to be the dead bodies of cheerleaders and the 2 garbage men from earlier in the film. They were going to kill them off, and, that was going to be them. Funny plot, great chemistry between, even though they might not have liked each other, but great chemistry with all them. Art, Ray and Brewster.
Well, it's like they didn't work well together. It doesn't mean they weren't nice to each other,
right.
like off books. I know, like there's other stuff like where characters,
but
actors hate working together, but when they're off the set, it's like, oh wait, we're actually nice people. It's okay,
right? But this movie just it's funny because it works together in so many, it intertwines so well. It's really amazing that at the time of the writer's strike that this came out as good as it did. Especially ad-libbing a bunch of lines and all that, and still have the story flow the way that it did. It was really good.
Well, indeed, like I feel like the writer's strike, specifically in this case, like it forced a looseness into production that I think actually added to the film because you had so much ad-libbing and all kind of stuff. Like too, like there were so many kind of like looser things you could do the film to take it like less seriously than it would have been taken necessarily if they had like full writers on there trying to keep the plot seriously.
Now, do you think that once the strike was over, do you think that the writer had the opportunity to go back and watch the footage and change anything that he would have wanted to?
I'd have to look at the dates of like the production and the actual strike itself. I don't have the research on the strike itself, so I don't know how.
Right, that's an interesting point too, because I've never really thought about that either. Because once it was over, they said that they had to reshoot the whole end of the film. Remember?
Yeah. So very much likely, I'm sure there was like a final pass on like making sure this is good, this is stuff like that. But like it probably would have been a similar film regardless if like the writer's strike hadn't finished by the time the production finished, or like maybe they would have waited till the strike was finished to finish that the last second. Like, okay, we stopped all the filming, but like, hey, when the strike's finished, we'll do a final like editing pass on it, and that could wait like 6 months or a year because lots of studios will film a movie, then put it on the shelf for a year, then release it sometime later. So it could have ended up like that, regardless of the same film. So it could have worked out any kind of way, and I think that's okay. So,
right. So yeah, definitely check it out. Give it a shot, especially if you're a Tom Hanks fan. You can tell, his acting is just top notch again.
Yeah, it's classic Tom Hanks.
Yeah. So as usual, if you want to follow us on Facebook, Tragedy of Cinema Podcast. If you want to email us at thetragedyofcinema@gmail.com. If you want to leave us a review, if you want to make fun of Kyle, you can go on the Facebook group and do that.
Always and forever. Make fun of Kyle.
Also, next week, we are going to dive in probably to my personal favorite horror movie that has been traumatizing me since I was a young lad. My favorite character is Jason Voorhees. That's well known. But probably my favorite horror movie, besides the Universal Monsters, that came out was the original Fog. So I think next week we're going to cover the Fog, and then after that, I do believe we are doing a lighthearted movie starring Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder in Stir Crazy. So giving you a couple of movies ahead out that you guys can look forward to, maybe watch and be ready for. So, yeah. But I think this episode's coming to a close. Kyle, what do you think? You got anything to say?
I think I'm excited for the next coming weeks, and when I have to make a TikTok finally, and that'll be good stuff.
Okay, I'm going to hold you to it.
Yep.
And that's a wrap.
And cut.